Hello, welcome. This is episode 2 to the procedural math quiz. I would definitely recommend going and watching the first one because most of this wouldn't make any sense if you just had this code for only the first one. So I definitely recommend going and watching that one first. But anyway, let's get into it and let's get started. Now you may have noticed by now that if you have this code and it says how many questions do you want and you input something that isn't right, then it throws an error. Now this is a problem because you don't want it to throw an error. You want it to tell the user what it's doing wrong and then they can fix it. So to do this, first we're going to want to create a new function. This one I'm going to call it float. Float checker. And we'll leave it blank for now. So we're going to do a new thing, which is while true. So this means that forever it's just going to keep going on and on and on. And inside that true statement, we want to go try and return float input. Oh yeah, prompt. That's right. I need to add the prompt up here, and this means that forever it is going to try to return a float input prompt. So we're going to use the, where is it, in here. So instead of doing float, we're going to rename this to float checker, and this is just going to run this. So what this is going to do is this prompt is this input right here. So this means that it's going to just keep trying, and if that doesn't work, then it's going to run this except statement, and let's go except print and go please enter a valid number. So here's what this is going to do. So it's going to ask the user, it's going to run the function float checker, which is going to be passed with this input. So this input is going to become this prompt. So this means it's while true, it's going to try to return float input prompt. And if it returns float input prompt, that means it is going to return to the user answer as if it was a float. It's going to return the number that the user inputted, and if that doesn't work, it's going to print an except statement, which means please enter a valid number. And because the while true is on, it's just going to keep redoing that. It's going to try telling the user to use it again, and it's just going to keep asking the user until they enter a right thing, and then it's going to go through. So we can check this. We can go play. How many questions do you want? We'll do a realistic one for this one, and then please enter a valid number. We'll just go please enter a valid number. So that's not working. Why is it I see where my error is here. I've got two inputs, so it's trying to use the input twice. But if we remove that and we do this again, how many questions do you want, and we go like that, please enter a valid number, and it's going to re-ask the question. So we can just keep going like that, and it's just going to keep re-asking the question. So that's good. That means that for the user answer, this is now fixed, and it's not going to try and re-ask over and over and over again. Okay, so now if we wanted to do the same for the question amount, we would just put this int here and add make this a float checker. So now this just means that how many questions do you want? That it does the same thing, and if we do like 13 times 13, I don't know what 13 times 13 is, so we'll just go da 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 da. You got it wrong. 19 times 9, or 90, 171, and then if we're playing, your total score was 1. So that's the basics of it. So that means that we've got all the possible inputs down. So if they ever input something wrong, then it works anyway. So for the first thing that we're going to add basically just ask if you want to play any more questions. So here's how we're going to do that. Alright, so what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add another while true statement. This just means that it's basically going to always run until we tell it not to. And then we want to tab all this up, and we're also going to want to add a new variable, and we're going to call this one count. So it's just keeping count of how many times this the game has been run, basically. So then we want to go in here. We want to do this one, call this count, and then one question we also want to add count as one of its parameters. And then down here we want to ask after the for loop, we want to go user underscore input equals input would you like another question? And then we're gonna do question mark and then in brackets y/n, and then we're also gonna put them on a new line so it looks real nice. And then we're gonna do if user underscore input equals yes, or user input equals y, then we're going to want to pass, because the reason we're passing it just means we're skipping the entire if statement, because that means this is just going to run because it's while true. And we want to go else if user input equals no, or user input equals n. Now you may be wondering, why would we do it in capitals? Why would they not just put it in lowercase? So a reason for that is because we want to do it like this. I'll show you. So to stop any boundary case data, this is so they might enter no in uppercase, O in lowercase, and instead of having to individually use each and every single one of them, we're just going to go to the end of the input statement and just do dot upper. This literally just means that it just uppercases it and makes it all uppercase. So that's why we have all these as uppercase, and it stops any boundary case data, which means that it just all goes through and all goes very smoothly. So else we want it to print thank you for playing, your total score was da 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 da, and then we want it to break. Now this break statement, this is what stops this while true. So you know how I was saying before how unless we tell it to stop, it's not going to stop? Well, this is us telling it to stop, basically. And the same with this, when you return something, this while true, it just stops. So now then, if we try that, we run that, and we'll go 2 questions, and we'll go 160, and we'll go 9. Would you like another question? We'll go yes. How many questions do you want? 1. 11 times 8, 88. Would you like another question? No. And we'll do it with a lowercase n. And thank you for playing. Your total score was 3. So now we know that that works. So this basically just means it just asks for another question if we want to play again. Now with this count variable, we also want to go count plus equals 1 in here. Completely forgot about that. So we'll go count plus equals 1, and up the top and question, we want to start it off by going, we'll go print, and we'll say, we'll go print and question, and we'll do these brackets again, and we'll go dot format, and number. Format count. Okay, so one more thing that you might notice is the boundary case data on the user answer. So this might be because if you divide number 1 by number 2, there may be like a whole bunch of decimal numbers. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to go user answer equals round user answer, and we'll do 1. So what this does is it rounds the user's answer to 1 decimal place, and we'll do the same with the correct answer as well. Correct answer equals round, because we don't want to just round the user's answer and it just, you know, be different to the correct answer, and we'll round that to 1 as well. So now if we test that out, how many questions do you want? 1, 9. Okay, so now that we've done the count as well, if we go how many questions you want, it also says question 1. So if we go like, what's another, would you like another question? Yes, how many questions? 2. It says question 2 now. So we can do, we can go like question 3, and it just increases because of the count variable. So that's what the count variable does. Now basically after this, there's not much more that we could add. You could technically just run it like this, but there is some changes that I do want to make, which make the program a little bit better. And yeah, you can just do your own stuff. So now what we're going to do is we're going to add the option to choose the question type. So to do this, we're basically just going to have to go that in this while true statement, we're now going to have to move the question types down there. So we'll move the question types, we'll put this here, and then we're also going to start it off asking them how many they want. So we're going to go user input equals input, please choose one of the following operators or type all for of this item, all for of the related to the basics vision and most of the license good, and also do for x. So then we want to just do if user input equals plus, that's not what I meant to do, then we want to go the question types and change that to the plus only. So this will just mean that it can just only be plus basically. So now we'll just copy and paste that basically. 2, 3, 4. And then we'll go else, print, please choose plus x division for all division. And then my error. Question types, we want this to be equals. So we'll just go here, just make these equals. So now if we go here and we go plus, how many questions do you want? 2 questions. First one's plus 16, second one is also plus 15. So we'll go another question and we'll go x. How many questions do you want? 2 questions. 15 times 11. So you see what I mean, because I definitely can do math. And 18. Yeah, you got it right. And then no. Total score was 3 because we got 3 right. Awesome. So that's working. So that means now that we've added the functionality of being able to choose which operator. Now something that we're just going to do, we can do your total score was this out of, just because this is a quick change, and we can do this out of count. So now we can do plus, how many questions do you want? 2, 14 plus 13, 6 plus 2, 8, and then no. So that means your total score was 1 out of 2. Now the last feature that we're going to add just before prettying it all up is basically just history. So when you're at the end of it, it's just going to show you your history, and you can just change it all basically. So what we're going to want to do for this is we're first going to want to add up the top. We're going to want to add the possible history. So we want to add previous answers. I want to add previous questions and previous user answers. And now you're going to want to add this into the global variables, so then it can be accessed inside of the function onQuestion. So we do previous answers, previous questions, and previous user answers. There we go. Okay. So now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to add the history basically. So what we're going to do is at the very end of one question, we're just going to add them to the list. So we're going to do previous oh, that's not what I meant to do. Previous user answers dot append. So this is something new. So dot append, this means that it is going to add whatever we put inside these brackets onto the end of the array. So let's say we had this in it, and we told it to append ABC. It would then just go like this and add ABC at the end of it. So that's what dot append does. So what we're going to do is we're going to want to do the previous user's answers, and we're going to want to append these, and we're going to want to append their answers. Now we're going to want to do this with every single variable inside this one question. So we're just going to do this a whole bunch of times. Okay, now we may have added these answers to it, but how are we going to display them in the history? So what we're going to want to do is in here we want to do for I in range, and we want to do len previous questions, and then we're going to want to, so basically what this does, oh, that's not right, and then previous questions for I in range length previous answers. And what this is going to do is it's going to loop through how many previous answers there are, and using len, so len gets the length of the array. So we want to do I'm going to want to do print, and do this, and then do correct answer. What is it? Correct answer, and then new line your answer. And then we're going to want to do dot format. Actually, no, I'm going to teach you guys something new. So instead of using dot format, if you wanted, you could put an F in front of this, and then you can do previous, let's go previous questions, and go I. So this means it's going to grab from this number. Correct answer, previous answers, and we're going to make this I. Sorry about this, I made a little mistake. Up here we also want to make a new variable, and we're going to call this prompt, and we're just going to copy this. Copy this thing right here. And then inside here we're going to call this prompt. Prompt. And then down here, instead of having these two extra lines, we can just do prompt in here. So now that we've changed that, if we go here, then we go addition, how many questions do you want? 2. Where is there? 8, question 2, and we'll do 10 for this one. No. It gives us our history. What is 3 plus 5? Correct answer 8. So, and your answer 8. So that's good. That shows that it is working. So this means we have now got a history. So since we've now got a history, this means the code is honestly pretty much done. There's not really much more that we can do. The only things that I can think of is the question type. So this, where is it? These question types here where it asks this isn't very, what do you say? Isn't very right. Like you can enter stuff wrong. So to fix that, we're going to create a new function, and this one's specifically for the question types. So we're going to do get underscore question underscore types, and we're going to do prompt. And here we're going to do while true, just like the other one, and we're going to do user input equals input prompt, and then do dot upper. Let's make them all uppercase. And if user input in where is it? In plus, and actually we can just copy it from down here and go Where am I? Let's copy it from here. If user input in this list of strings, then we can go return user input, and else if user input in, and we'll go all, then we can go return and that again. And then if that doesn't work, we can do an else statement, else print, and we can go please choose plus minus, oh, where am I? X or division, division or all to begin. So now if we go down to the bottom down here, we're asked where is it? Where am I? Right here, we're asked this. Instead of putting input, we want to ask get user get underscore question types. And we want to basically just copy this. This one we can actually remove the dot upper. We just want to copy all this, and we just want to put this right here. And then we can remove this user input line. So now, if we check this, we should be able to write that. Yep. Or, yeah, so now we can, and then if we go all, that doesn't work for some reason. Name user input is not identified. What is this? Oh, that's because these question types. So this needs to be so this you can remove this now. So this doesn't matter. We just put that into its own function. So we can just delete that. Go here, and now we can go all. Yeah, there we go. So now it all works. And awesome. So that looks like all the functionality. So if you think about it, that's all the functionality. Basically, you just need it to look good now. Basically, so we've got the question types. That's definitely working. We've got the you can choose the operators. You've got entering in the answer. You've got it tells you the answer. So now we just got to make it look good. Already this looks just a little bit better, even just like that. So we can do some simple stuff. So if you want, you guys can do whatever you want. You can do all that. I'm just gonna use my other code that I've already gotten written here for this example. So this is what I've got basically for it to look like. So I've got an ASCII piece of art. I've got by me. I've got settings. I can do all. How many rounds do you want to play? 2. You know, I know you got it wrong. Correct answer was -2. Da 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 da. You got it wrong. Da da da. Would you like another question? No. Summary and then history. Obviously, you could probably cancel up this bit up here, like put another thing before the thank you for playing, come back soon sort of thing. But that's sort of what you want this to look like as a finished product. So I'll let you guys work on your own code. You know, try and get some ASCII. If you want to get this, then you can just search up ASCII art generator basically, and that'll come up. Anyway, thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this, because this one is a simple little project that I've worked on like ages ago, you know, and it's just something that you can do. Yeah, some things might be a bit different, like how many rounds and stuff like that. If you guys want, I've got this code on GitHub. You can go look at that code. Everything here is commented, so it's so that you guys can understand it. You guys can read through the code. Go to GitHub, read through it all. GitHub links in the description, basically. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed, and hopefully I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.